Hello, and welcome back, friends old and new. Deis Ferrous here. Hope everybody's doing well. We are back with more Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, as we do. Last time, we finished up the siege on the Heartless, recruited Solomon into our retinue. After defeating Sargona, we did not get our recap. That's unfortunate, we did not get our recap. I think that's some bullshit. But we successfully took out the Heartless, turned it into a trade ship for the Von Valancius dynasty, and then we made our way to Dargonis, talked to some tech priests that were trying to arrest Pascal, managed to convince them to not do that with a little bit of violence. Um, got some loot, and we all leveled up, and now we are about to land on Dargonis. But before that, let's pop this level real quick, because we like armor. Well, because well, I mean, we do like armor, but we like leveling up. Let's see. We'll grab Bloody Mark. That should be pretty good. Dependable ally. Eagle's Vigilance. Emergency Protocol. Just Patronate. Screen. You good? Sorry, my audio's flickering a lot suddenly. You good now? You all level? Okay, cool. From an enemy, the enemy suffers promised death effect to the end of turn. Promised death effect? Huh, that's neat. Honestly, I might get that, because that's actually pretty good. A flat plus 6 damage is also really good. Suppression factor. One round, Tenacious Talons. Soaring. Yeah, I think I'm gonna feel a fire. Attack effect on the. Last weapon 3 to 5. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do Promise of Death, and then we'll grab Sharpened Talons after that. Abelard. See. Boo, 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 boo. See, what defensive stuff could we grab? We'll get crit resistance. Do, 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 do. Melee superiority bonus. Memorial is an enemy C plus 10. In melee combat, any target surrounded by more allies than enemies. 10 weapon skill bonus for each additional ally. Mmm. That's actually pretty tempting. Ooh, instant retribution though, yeah. That's huge. What's Pascal's main thing? Of this list, we could get more logic. God, Pascal has so many 100s. Guess let's just get that over 100. Dodging other allied attacks, diversion zone. Combat tactic, anti-use the next main attack suffer. Plus 1 MP. It's kind of not much. Fires of the Forge. Single time attack. I'll just oh, wait a second. Dodge and parries his attacks first of the next melee attack against his enemy. Pulse amplifier. Arc rifle. I remember their external power block. Yeah. Just buff up his plasma capabilities. You're primarily Lord Ward, aren't you? Awareness is high. Recommended. Do. It's not bad. We'll just go pass unscathed. We're not really gonna worry about the rest of you guys. I'm not gonna level all y'all up. There's attack and melee trick. Gruesome kill. Hunting surge. 2 rounds. Pierce the armor. Share the spoils. Withdraw. No. Yeah. Surge is really good. Critical chain. Cut to the chase. Round. Oh, that's movement points. It's fine. Bouncing as a weapon attacks close to line of sight. Flay the Bold. Bonus to armor penetration during combat. Ooh. It's tempting. Single shot attack on a mobilized or stun target. Nah. Pounce. Retaliate. Savor the kill. That is not being trailed is killed by an ally. It's an extra turn with half MP. Yeah, it's not. It's not bad actually. Well, it's Prey being killed by an ally. What was it? Guidance is pretty good. All the way down to 15. I'm not surprised, but that's kind of funny, honestly. That and Kibella. Bringer of Doom. Don't use a lot of single target attacks. He's really AoE somehow. Against that enemy till the end of the assassin's next turn. Create an opening. Each use of aim for the opening on the same target uses target's dodge and dodge reduction. I think I really need that though, honestly. Death plus 2 deals additional 10 damage, disarray. Killing tree. Yeah, we'll grab that. That's some good snowballing every combat. So now we should be able to descend to Dargonis. Yup. We got a lot of things to do on Dargonis. Holy cow. Administratum and Von Valancia's Palace. Let's go to the Administratum. Actually, let's go to the Von Valancia's Palace first. All psychics have two types of psychic powers, minor and major. I honestly didn't actually know that. Caught me a little off guard. Hello, my people. And y'all can't see shit from me. You guys can see everything. Y'all are the lucky ones. Long live the rogue trader! Hello. Greetings, your lordship. Lots of walking. Greetings. Oh. Clementia Viserion. The Emperor protects. Welcome home, your lordship. The stately woman in a long, full dress uniform makes a graceful courtesy. Her short, graying hair does not obscure her stern features. I am Clementia Versarian, Court Chancellor of the Von Valancius dynasty. On behalf of all of Dargonis, please accept my deepest condolences on the untimely passing of Theodora von Valancius. Her departure is a terrible blow to us all, but as one star expires, another always flares to light. And although still overcome with bitterness and grief, your subjects hope that you will become the trade dynasty's guiding light in these trying times. Clementia. Abelard offers a reserved nod. She nods in return, and the lines of his brows soften ever so slightly. Achilles Scalander. The young man quickly brings a respirator to his burnt face and bows his head courteously. His raven black hair veils his burns and skull implants, and his thin metal fingers creak quietly as he offers a welcoming gesture. Achilles Scalander, Secretary of the Administratum Department. I hope your journey to Dargonis was not darkened by unwanted troubles. The Emperor protected us on our journey through the stars. Achilles makes the sign of the Aquila, and may he remain merciful to us till the end of time. Does your lordship wish to survey the grounds? Or perhaps we could sate your curiosity by answering any questions you might have. Governor Urban Drivestem has been notified of your arrival on Dargonis and will visit the palace shortly. The preparations for the official visit are well in hand, but your lordship still has plenty of time before the meeting. Hold on a moment, Clementia. What did you say your last name was? Clementia nods politely. You heard correctly, your lordship. I am of House Versarion, Lord Abelard's granddaughter and direct descendant. She's Abelard's granddaughter? How old is Abelard? Because she looks very mature. Like, I'd say... Because she's got some gray in her hair, it looks like. At least in the front. So, like, how old is Abelard? How busy does his family get? The succession of service is an effective good. It grants new generations understanding of their function within the mechanism. Chancellor Versarion held her position at the Von Valancius court for many years. She earned Lord Captain Theodora's respect through acts of great perseverance. There's no room for doubt. Blood had nothing to do with it. Um... The Emperor blesses those who strengthen humanity's domains through their deeds. You have reason to be proud of your progeny. Abelard looks at you in surprise, but then immediately puts on an air of indifference. Thank you, Lord Captain. Why isn't the governor here with you to greet me? Apologies, your lordship. Governor Drivestem's residence is on the other side of the world, and by the Administratum Palace of Dargonis. You sent word as soon as you entered the system, but it takes time to travel a great distance of your domain. Chancellor Versarion appears unruffled. You cannot shake the thought that the governor's lateness is a subtle political gesture designed to test the limits of what is acceptable when it comes to interacting with the new rogue trader. I would like to rest before the meeting. Where are my chambers? They are very close, just down the hall. That is also where the study and the audience chamber are. Achilles' face brightens with a pearly white smile, restoring some of his former good looks. Lady Theodora's study has remained locked since her last departure, but, on account of your arrival, we've arranged for it to be tidied up. It is ready whenever you may need it. You are dismissed. I apologize for my bluntness, but I have a request to make. Perhaps before the meeting takes place, the illustrious Lord Captain could spare a few minutes for a conversation with me. Achilles bows his head. I'm certain that you will find my reports on the state of affairs in the Von Valancius Protectorate most useful. Alright, sounds good. Okay. Oh, and there go all the people. No, Argenta's over here. J... Okay, let's... Mundus Valancius. Pallas Von Valancius. Okay, well... It's like simple. Hello, Jay. Greetings, your lordship. Such illustrious society, such well-heeled nobles. Indeed, it would be worth visiting Dargonis, even without getting to know you, Shadeen. This world offers huge scope for doing business.
Halt! I noticed something.
Glinting in the light, the coin falls into clear water and sinks to the bottom. Good. Oh, there it is. Let's see. What's over here? Well, let's look at this loot. Hello, sirs. Oh yes, let me just settle for Melter charge real quick. There we go. What is this? An ancient cogitator linked to the palace's system network. Hello, Cabela. Greetings to you, your lordship. What a blessing to see you in good health, your lordship. The soul of your people is with you, Deis. If it's so... Oh no, that's you. I want to talk to Cabela. Yeah, okay, it's basically the same stuff. Fight today. Oh, excuse me. A living, fruit-bearing tree in the heart of a hive world is a fantastical sight. They probably use a lot more water to tend this tree than the average Dargonian citizen can hope to receive in their daily rations. I mean, there is also just kind of how, like, trees work compared to people. Oh, there's your lat. The walls of your home suffocate me, Alonzok. I long to leave this twisted world. Come on. This twisted world at the first opportunity. Understandable. Can't falter for that. Well, let's go say hi to Argenta. She's also out and about. Do 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 do. Oh, immortal God Emperor, be merciful to us. Standing upon the altar is an ancient image of Saint Macarius. Its regal frame is covered in marks. The relic was claimed in a battle on a remote and forgotten world. Neat. It doesn't look like there's much else, so... Let's go to the Von Valencia's palace. Thought there was a way to just, like, immediately snap the camera over there. But apparently not. Well, not that I can figure out, I should say. I'm sure there is a way to just snap the camera over. I'm just not sure what button I press. Von Valencia's palace. What does our new home look like? It's a warden. Oh, cutscene. Welcome, your lordship. Let me inform you of the location of your chambers on your dynastic estate. The main throne room is up the stairs and straight ahead. Your subject Achilles Scalander informed me that he humbly awaits the opportunity to meet with you there. Okay. If your lordship wishes to rest after your long journey, then your personal chambers are up the stairs and on the right. Okay. That very slow, clunky points animation. If you need anything, whatever your soul desires, I'll be right next to your chambers, eagerly awaiting your orders. Fair enough. Appreciate you, soldier. Keep up the good work. Yeah, everyone else is in here, looks like. I'm pretty sure that's the palace where Achilles wants to meet. Let's see. Because it's up the stairs. Yeah. Oh, there's that door, that's probably my chambers, I would assume. Hey, Solomon. Road Trader, the Marshal is ready to meet with you. Do you wish to commence the audience? Um... No, I have other business first. So we'll hold on that. Oh, hey, there's Cassia. Like, I love that I can just set off a Melta charge. Oh, Cassia. My compliments to your taste in art. The collection here is extensive and most interesting. Aww, isn't she a cutie? Let's see. Cassia, we got Pascal back over this way. Hello, Pascal, my friend. My appearance has caused a slight disturbance in the ranks of the servants of the Omnisaya assigned to the palace. And I also that the performance of rituals and maintenance litanies has produced satisfactory results. That's good. Is it Dira? Clementia. Yeah, Dira. Ah, good old Dargonus. It's boring here with us, Lady Theodora. Nope. She loved to liven up this sleepy little place with a couple of crazy decrees and public floggings of flabbergasted nobles. Well then. The Von Valancius dynasty throne is a symbol of the rogue trader's power, which now belongs to you. Hello, Heinrich. The lack of observers on this world has led your nobles to become extremely complacent. Today alone, I overheard 3 statements that, if so wanted, could be turned into grounds for a charge of heresy. We'll wait for Scalander. Wait on you, because you're probably gonna get me to the next, like, main plot thing. What's it called? The governor showing up. Yoink. Oh, there's Cyber Eagle. Curiosity merchant. A finely dressed man greets you with an incredibly radiant smile. His meticulously polished jaw augmentation reflects the palace's interior as sharply as a mirror. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lusarius Carmelan, a collector of curiosities. Perhaps your lordship will find something useful among my offerings? That's a beautiful eagle. What is its name? His polished jaw shining, Lusarius extends his hand towards the bird, a hand likewise made of shining metal. Her name is Aquila. As soon as I saw her, I knew a creature with such proud grace simply must be properly taken care of. Now, Aquila is an integral part of my life, as I am hers. With a shrill cry, the eagle stabs your benefactor's metal palm with her beak. The augmetic groans while the merchant is still smiling as he modestly puts his hand back into his clothes and out of sight. Apologies, Aquila is still getting used to my replacement extremity. She liked the old one better. Judging by Aquila's displeased look, the bird's fondness for her owner's original extremity was of an alimentary rather than an affectionate nature. Was your friendship with Aquila the reason you need those augmetics? You are exceptionally observant. The man laughs softly and melodiously, then shakes his head. Developing a friendship with such a noble creature is a thorny path, and after a moment of especially profound disagreement, I had to have my hand replaced. But this, Lutharius touches his jaw implant, his pride evident. This was purely for the beauty of the thing. I used to be passionate about finding rare augmetics, and I could not resist having them installed, even if they were made by, shall we say, not purely righteous hands. With the fine craftsmanship, the razor-sharp outlines. Please keep this a secret from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I know the Red Priests don't condone things like this. Alright, well, what kind of curiosities do you sell? Lusarius points to his eagle, still smiling. Equipment for noble cyber assistance, of course. The demand is modest, as few in the Imperium can afford such luxury. But I'm glad to have found my calling. Judging by his expensive attire and ostentatious augmetics, Lusarius's wealth is unlikely to stem directly from his curiosity business. He came here following his heart, it seems, and not his greed. I'm a rogue trader, and I seek the rarest of curiosities. Do you have anything of that sort? My collection will offer you the biggest and broadest choices in all the expanse. However, even a devoted enthusiast like myself has his limits. There is a certain captain who owns a unique protocol, a family heirloom, which he has refused to sell to me. His ship is called the Renegade's Fall. Perhaps you can chart a path to his hoarded treasure. I will send you the coordinates of the place where we last met. Noted. I want to see what curiosities you have. Oh, wow. There's only that one for bird. Doot, 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 doot. Hold on to the rest of this for now. I could probably sell a lot of these grenades, honestly, but... there we go. I think that works. So let's do that. Domination and elimination. Wow. End the overseer's turn. The overseer gains one resolve until the end of combat. If the overseer has heretical adherence, they also gain +2 bonus to random characteristic stacks. So you'd need to be a heretical RBDs to get this. That is so specific. Whenever an ability extrapolated through the Servo-Skill Swarm affects other creatures, the Servo-Skill Swarm gains a stacking +5 bonus to Intelligence and Fellowship until the end of the Overseer's next turn. If the Overseer has Dogmatic Adherent, once the Servo-Skill Swarm extrapolates 5 abilities in total, it immediately deals 11 shock damage with 28% armor pen to each enemy in a 4-cell radius. Then the ability counter is reset. Interesting. I mean, I'll still take them. Might as well. They're not going to cost me anything. I'm just going to straighten this stuff up a little bit. Do. Okay, there we go. Made a little bit more cargo. That, holding on to that. Long range. It's more torpedoes. We'll get rid of that. So we have that stuff set up. Cool. That's neat. If you want some purchase, I'll let you know. Yeah. And where's Abelard? Oh, here you are, sir. While we're on Dargonis, I will check the Secretary's reports and keep an eye on the logisticians. Master Donnock does his job well, but a little scrutiny goes a long way with him. So we got 2 doors to the Void Ship Bridge. Oh? What is in here? Now I am... Oh, nope, that... Through the door. Oh, is this a little drop site? Oh, fair enough. Come on. Let's check out our room real quickly. Ooh.
Something of interest.
Oh, hello. Boots. Back until the near next turn. That is so specific, but I mean, we'll take it. If I can sell it, honestly. The leather covers bear the names of the authors, mostly philosophers and theologians from Dargonis. The spines of the books are trimmed with gold. Huh. Neat. There is a faint mark on the polished mantelpiece, which is likely left by glass. Interesting. The concentrator is producing rhythmic sounds, among which a faint ringing stands out. The remains of a plague can be seen on the frame. Alas, the inscription is completely indistinguishable due to the patina. By Chardonnette. Yoink. This antique piece of furniture is obviously well cared for, but its surface is still covered with a lot of scuff, scratches, and stains. Traces of the previous rogue trader who sat at the table. Okay, well, what's in here? Oh, hello, multi-melta. Yoink. What is through this door? Ah, my bed. Open. Oh. By bringing your hand up to the scan panel behind the thing, you open a secret passageway, I assume. The bed for the head of the Rogue Trader dynasty is befitting the status of the owner. Hello? Hello? A mysterious item undoubtedly created by inhuman hands. The mysterious Xeno artifact rests in a stasis field. Freaking Theodore, you've been hiding a lot of stuff, apparently. The shelves of the library are laden with dusty tomes. Your eyes linger on the works of several administrative adepts and the memoirs of some unfamiliar explorers of distant death worlds. Wow. Exquisite wraithbone blade fragment. Interesting. Yeah, Theodore, you are lucky you're a rogue trader. There's a lot of heresy in here. A mysterious item undoubtedly created by inhumane hands. Like that. I don't know about that one, but this one definitely looks like a las rifle. Oh, hello. Plasma weapon by +3. The gains +1 stack of zealot effect until the end of combat. Enter the area attack with each stack of zealot effect. Well, hold on, because I'm most definitely giving these gloves to Pascal. Because holy cow. Yeah, Pascal, you can take that. Can't use that. That looks better for Pascal anyways. Charge slash. Yeah, we'll give these boosts to Pascal. Might as well. Like, I'm definitely just selling those. Holy cow. Empty glass and these unopened bottles of wine sit on the finely crafted table made from dark marbled wood. Dust is accumulated on the raised oil smears. If servants ever access this room, they do so very rarely. I assume. Ah. Strange objects lie behind the glass of the display case. The complete absence of an explanatory label makes it impossible to learn what they are. The rare books arrayed on these shelves, with their lavish, almost pretentious bindings, seem to be identical. Alright, let's sit down. This secret room is remarkably quiet and almost homely. Perhaps your predecessor used it when she sought complete solitude. Listening to the muted melody coming from the Vox speaker, you can easily imagine Theodore reading a book with a glass of expensive wine in hand. Have a glass of wine. 3 sealed bottles sit on a sturdy-looking low table. They are labeled Grand Master's Blood, Boon of Terra, and Flame of Purity. You recall the vision of the past that Adira told you about. She said Theodore's favorite one was the Flame of Purity. Alright, let's go with that. The wine fills the glass, glittering in the dim lights of the room, like liquid gold. Its tangy flavor burns your throats, leaving behind a spicy, biting aftertaste. You hear a short, faint hum as an unseen motor stirs into motion. Choose a book. Several books are stacked next to the sofa. Some appear ancient, while others look like they have never been opened. Among Theodore's data that has been restored using Yukato is the phrase Litanies of the Motive Force, is the title of one of the books here. Huh. Okay, let's go with that. As you pick up the book, a hidden button in its binding clicks under your finger. You notice a short inscription in the book. From a faithful servant to the dynasty, in lasting memory, DVV. Change the music. The vid screen of the data slate before you displays the names of several Vox symphonies. You recognize the melody that is playing right now. It is the first of 36 parts of the Symphony of Honor and Duty. Alright, then Symphony of Honor and Duty Part 2. The music in the speakers momentarily grow louder, filling the entire room, then goes back to normal, seemingly without any change. Oh, hey, that's the hidden cache. The room responds to your actions with a quiet grinding sound, and a small nook reveals itself in a nearby wall. Inside, you find a databank bearing the Von Valancius coat of arms. That's a bank from Dargonius. Huh, neat. Okay, cool. Didn't expect that to happen, but we will Most certainly, take it. Hello, Anzu. Who is good bird? You are good bird. What do we have out here? Oh, just a nice view of our city. We get we get a nice pan around. Oh, not remotely as much of a pan as I was expecting. Oh, nope, there we go. Hmm, neat. Okay, cool. Can I close the door? Long live the rogue trader. Long live the rogue trader. At your service, your lordship. Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk to Achilles first. We're gonna do Achilles, Clementia, and then Solomon. Achilles Scalander. The slender figure, clad in robes made from expensive fabric, shudders from violent coughing. Pressing a gilded respirator to his face, the man takes several deep breaths. Achilles, it's been many moons. I hope your cousin is feeling well. Achilles covers his burnt lips, trying and failing to suppress a coughing fit. She she is in good health. She sends her regards to you, as well as her wishes for your safe return. Heinrich frowns. For as long as the stars shine in the sky, my vigil continues. So it does. Achilles thumps himself in the chest with his augmented hand. You hear the clanging of metal against metal. I'm not so foolish as to fail to notice a conversation in code. Your insight deserves credit, rogue trader. Then again, I expect nothing less from Theodore von Valancius' successor. Heinrich looks at Achilles. Allow me to introduce Achilles Scalander properly. In addition to his duties as Secretary of the Administratum, he acts as the agent of the Golden Throne under my aegis. Master Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague who is engaged in other matters in the Coronis Expanse. I'm sure you will find Achilles' service useful, especially when dealing with the schemes of humanity's foes within the borders of your protectorate. Greetings, Lord Deis von Valancius. Allow me once again to express my deepest condolences on the loss of Lady Theodora. I will do everything I can to track down and destroy all of Conrad Voigtier's accomplices on the capital world. Do you know anything about what has become of Conrad Voigtier? The former Master of Whispers is a heretic and a traitor to the dynasty. Achilles nods grimly. Words of his treason reached Dagonius too late. Conrad came to the planet and left it almost immediately, once he had sown discord in the minds of the gullible and naive. The worst of the rumors he started was that you were the one responsible for Lady Theodora's sudden demise. Of course, your loyal subjects did their best to skin alive any who showed signs of doubt, but it seems unlikely that the wardens got to everyone who was allowed doubt into their hearts, and now nurtures it in secret. What are your responsibilities here on Dargonis? Officially, I'm a secretary at this world's administrative department. Less officially, I'm afraid I can't disclose that even to you. In short, I collect and investigate reports of heresy taking root in upstanding planets of humanity. Above all else, I'm concerned about the Xenos threat that hangs over the entire Coronis expanse, including your protectorate. Sadly, my mission was complicated by the recent warp disturbances, and I'm still trying to re-establish contact with many of my agents. Do you know anything about the Cult of the Final Dawn? My knowledge is deplorably limited, your lordship. All my attention has been focused on tracking Xenos activity. I'm certain that Master Von Kellox can tell you much more about those heretics than I. Tell me about the Xenos. Excuse me. The residents of the local system are no strangers to skirmishes with enemies of humanity, but recently the loathsome beasts seem to have completely flown off the handle. We're receiving reports from ships that have made it through the warp to Darkonis. Both they and the colonies that they have departed from are being attacked. We have identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Drukari, humanity's ancient and insidious foes. Be vigilant on your travels. The Xenos will undoubtedly attack a rogue trader's ship should they find the circumstances to be in their favor. Unfortunately, in the host of humanity there are those who are willing to grovel before our enemies in the hopes of a valuable reward. You may be interested to know that we are on the trail of such heretics. Achilles glances at his data slate. Overwhelming evidence indicates that a plundered void station on Landgren's belt is being used as a base by a band of pirates that are not above dealing with Xenos. I was unable to persuade the Chancellor of the need to dispatch a ship there, but perhaps you would like to pay a courtesy call to these scoundrels yourself. Duly noted. About your unofficial work, Achilles, Achilles, excuse me. Achilles' eyes flash with interest. Yes? Whom do you truly serve? The rogue trader or the interrogator of the Inquisition? And who does the rogue trader serve? The Golden Throne? The Protectorate? Could it be that one stems from the other? And if so, is there any sense in discussing it? I want a list of all your... No, yeah. I want a list of all your agents and a means to contact them. I can understand your desire as a rogue trader to have everything under your control, and yet I am not at liberty to make use of classified information related to the interrogator's agent in whatever way I see fit. Achilles lowers his gaze and nods politely. Heinrich lets out a sigh of disappointment. There is no point in pressing my agents. None of them would ever reveal such vital information, especially not in my presence. Fair enough. I've learned all that I wanted to. Achilles bows and brings the respirator to his burnt lips. I have other questions to ask. I sincerely hope that I can answer every one of them. The scars on your face. What happened? About 5 years ago, there was an accident. Several tanks of promethium exploded in the storehouse at my estate, and I was burned alive under the rubble. The Emperor's preserved my soul, and the skilled physicians of Dargonis saved my body, except for my lungs, with which I had to part. I presume the incident was an attempt on my life, but the identity of whoever was behind it remains a mystery. You promised me a report on the present state of affairs in the Protectorate. I've already forwarded all official reports to your Seneschal. As for the conversation we're having right now, I wouldn't trust any paper or data slate with its contents. You see, Lady Theodora, may the Emperor have mercy on her soul, was perfectly aware of Dargonis' political environment. You, however, have only just arrived on the capital world. I thought it would be best to bring you up to speed. Frankly, the nobles of Dargonis, much like nobles in most worlds, are akin to spiders in a jar, ready to pounce on whoever is the weakest, or whomever they deem to be the weakest. The nobles of Dargonis are well-respected, rich, and powerful individuals who held Lady Theodora's favor for many years and found ways to rise above the rest by diligently serving the rogue trader. Every family pursues its own selfish interests, and each one expects that with the transition of power, they will retain and even add to their lands and wealth. The families I would recommend giving particular attention to are the Drive Stems, the Gapreks, and the Sourabacks. I would also mention the Versarians, not a noble house per se, but a family that was part of Lady Theodora's inner circle, the Blue Blood's great displeasure. Tell me about the Drive Stems. The Drive Stems are the ancient governor house of Dargonis. Predictably, oh god, my throat's starting to get a bit tired from how I'm reading this guy's voice. Predictably, the greater the wealth of the Von Valancius Protectorate, the fuller their coffers grow. Their reputation is flawless, except for one detail. We have evidence that Urbend drive stems rivals seem to have the misfortune of regularly falling victim to Xenos raids. I find that these attacks are always a little too advantageous for the drive stems, but we lack solid proof, and it might never surface. The closer an official is to a rogue trader, the braver and safer they feel. I would just like to remind everyone that rubbing shoulders with Xenos is heresy that can be overlooked only in the case of the Von Valancius heir, not his servants. What makes the Gabrak special? The Gabraks hail from a remote Forge world, and among their distant relatives there are many servants of the Omnisaya. And the house itself is close to the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, both in spirit and in their business connections. The Gabraks oversaw the industrial shipments within the Protectorate until recently. Ever since the astropathic communication with Kiavagama was severed, they've been quite concerned about the security of the planet placed under their care. What can you tell me about House Sauerbach? Um, religious, religious and hardworking. The Sauerbachs own many enterprises, including distillation manufactorums that produce promethium. I must note that lately members of the Sauerbach family have been prone to overly liberal statements about the von Valancius dynasty. They believe that Lady Theodora was a bit too keen to leave her world without proper oversight. I would like to know more about the Versarians. The Versarians are a line founded by Lady Theodora Seneschal, and as such are nominally considered nobility, at least from the standpoint of the Imperial Navy, from which Lord Abelard hails. On Dargonis, however, their position is precarious. Firstly, they never were granted an official title, a process which has been impeded for decades by the old houses of Dargonis. And secondly, the other families do not see them as equals, but more as upstarts clinging to the rogue trader's favor. The Versarians are responsible for the capital world's fleet, the majority of the cargo shipments on domestic routes. After hearing all that, I now feel the urge to have every one of those sycophants executed at once. Achilles shrugs. You are, naturally, well within your rights, rogue trader. But remember that this will cause the multi-layered bureaucratic system of Dargonis, of your entire protectorate, in fact, to come apart at the seams. And that's not even considering the likelihood of attempted reprisals from their families and allies. I would hold off on the death sentences. Act with restraint and wisdom, present for all to see sufficient proof of the unwanted house's guilt. Do not mistake me. Mass executions are one way to solve your problems, but in that case, you should weigh up every possible scenario before you act. Enough about the nobles. Was there anything else you wanted to report? There was, your lordship, and this time it concerns the main reason for my presence on this planet. Ugh. Xenos and the threat they pose to you and to humanity as a whole. The last few months have been difficult for the people who report to me. My eyes and ears scattered throughout the Corona's expanse. Warp disturbances, astropaths overcome with madness, ships disappearing in the immaterium. Many of my observers and contacts have gone dark, or been killed by some calamity or other. Still, I managed to establish communication with some key individuals who were able to warn me about incoming threats, including Xenos raids. Oh. Achilles looks you in the eye without blinking. It is within my power to supply you with intelligence on where and when the Xenos will strike next. I do not doubt that Governor Drivestem will beg you for protection against the Xenos. And in this fight, the information from my contacts, will serve you well. I beseech you, Deis, if I ever report a threat looming over a ship or a planet, do not dismiss it. Sometimes it takes an intervention from the rogue trader and his mighty void ship to avert a disaster. Why is that? Okay. Just let you refresh your memory. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I must take my leave. Achilles bows. According to the message I received a few minutes ago, Governor Drivestem has arrived at court. I imagine that the Chancellor is already prepared to arrange the meeting. All that's left is to notify her that you are ready to see Urbend. Okay. Oh. Hmm. Let's talk to Solomon. This might be quicker, actually. Um, I would prefer to know exactly what it is that the head of the Adeptus Arbites in the Expanse wants to see me about. I do not know the details, but I would assume the procedure is the same as it was in Lady Theodora's time. Personal introduction, the reaffirming of the allyship between the dynasty and the Adeptus Arbites, and discussion of the ties-related affairs. Yeah, let's do this one first. I think this will be quicker. Oh, hello. Goodness gracious. Hello, sir. Marshal Gregorius Stracht. He is a fucking unit. That is a brick wall of a man. Two markedly distinct figures approach your throne. Marching in front is a man clad in Adeptus Arbites armor. He carries his helmet in the crook of his arm, but his stern facade serves him as well as any visor could. He bows to you sharply. Marshal Stracht of the Adeptus Arbites. An old woman walks in the marshal's shadow, her body fitted with dozens of scribing implants and magnifying instruments. If not for her eyes, quick and inquisitive behind a giant pair of ocular lenses, you might have mistaken her for an exotic servitor. Her robes are adorned with sacred symbols of the Adeptus Administratum. Yeah, wow, she's like a living servitor just about, good lord. Look at her like hunched over that big bag she's got, like holy cow. Wait, look at that. Oh, I think they actually share a portrait, because if you look on the, let me hold this up here. If you look on the right-hand side, like, that is the corner of Gregorius's. Like, that's Gregorius's shoulder there. That might actually be... I wouldn't be too surprised if that's actually her arm on the pauldron. Her hand on the pauldron. The woman bows. Rogue Trader Deis von Valancius, I, Prefect Inscripia Volter, greets you on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum. I will now begin the due procedure of official address to the ruler of Dargonis, as formalized by Amendment 49/10 to Law SK-491. May your name be wreathed in glory for centuries to come. May your future ever proliferate. May the God Emperor bestow upon you a duty worthy of his chosen. Her monotonous droning is making you weary. It seems she intends to go on for a good while longer. Get comfortable and listen to the end. I'm not gonna mess with the diabetes. The prefect resumes her elaborate formula. You notice a few poorly concealed yawns and frenzied blinking from among the crowd. The speech drags on for another 5 minutes. You pass this test of fortitude honorably. At last, the prefect's address comes to an end. I do not recall seeing you at court. What is the purpose of your visit? The marshal leans forward. You can actually see in Scribia's book there. The marshal leans forward. His voice is low, and when he speaks, it feels as though the marble tiles of the palace have begun to vibrate. The Adeptus Arbites delegation has arrived to greet Lady Theodora's successor, and to see the extension of our decades-long arrangements. If I may continue for you, the prefect steps forward, dragging her feet slightly. As per the decree of Lady Theodora von Valancius, Ord-037/3N, the representatives of the Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbites are sanctioned to use the Palace of Justice, oversee tithe collection in the Protectorate, and review any and all cases of tithe avoidance, tithe exceedance, or other irregularities. These rights have been formalized in numerous pacts and statutes under the main decree. Considering your new position, you may have yet to acquaint yourself with all these documents. You are the successor of Lady Theodora, whose alliance with our two sacred organizations forever glorified her as a rogue traitor closely tied to the executors of Holy Terra's will. And we, as representatives of the Adeptus Administratum and the Adeptus Arbites, must verify that you are able to maintain this alliance that has brought such repute to your dynasty. The prefect scrutinizes you as if trying to estimate your proportions and weight. That is why we have arrived in person, as the present circumstances have provided us with a chance to see if your intentions concord with those of the late von Valancius. And what circumstances are those? The prefect's lips contort into a twist. Interesting. Like, interesting turn of phrase. I've never heard someone's like lips contorting into a twist. You know, like what? Sure, fair enough. Our work has been disrupted by unforeseen setbacks regarding communication and transportation, as our requisitioned assets were not adequately prepared. We have lost some of our personnel and resources as a result. The arbitrators are too short-handed to perform all the duties expected of them. Since they first arrived in the Expanse, their numbers, limited from the outset, have only continued to dwindle. After analyzing the situation in accordance with Amendment FS/893-24 to Decree Ord-037/3N, we have decided to notify you of a tithe violation committed by one of the worlds in the region. This regrettable lapse must be rectified as quickly as possible. The old woman shivers and rubs her augmented hands together with an unnerving creak. And which world was it that had the misfortune of drawing your attention? The Thera, a feudal world. a futile world far from the main route that was bereft of the Imperium's light, then rediscovered less than 2 centuries ago. It supplies agricultural resources and manpower. Okay, forth the responsibilities taken on by Lady Theodora. I offer you my help. An arbitrator will be assigned to you for increased security. Proctor Anthon, front and center. The marshal's voice thunders over the arbitrator ranks, and Solomon Anthon marches over to your throne, his cyber mastiff on his heels. Thank you for your support. I'll go to Sarah as soon as I can. The Emperor protects. The marshal makes the sign of the Aquila, in a motion so sharp that you can practically hear it cutting the air. The prefect adjusts her ocular lenses with a weary sigh. And once again, no specifics given, of course. In my reports, nobody ever stops to think. She quickly catches herself and offers you a bow. Okay. Now Solomon is officially in our ranks again, which is neat. Do. Cool. That was nice and quick. And Clementia Versarian. Your lordship. Clementia bows her head politely. For a chancellor to a rogue trader, she is dressed rather simply. A parade doublet, polished boots, and a comfortable cloak. She bears a saber in a gilded scabbard, whether for show or for protection, one could not say. Only her ring with the Versarian coat of arms indicates that she is of the highest social stratum. The governor is waiting on the periphery of the palace. Please let me know when you would like to see him. Awareness test failed. Clementia is different from most nobles, not just in the way she's dressed, but in her bearing too. Although judging by the scars visible on her skin, at least some parts of her education took place on a battlefield, rather than within the confines of a lyceum. What are your responsibilities as Chancellor? To put it simply, I'm your trade representative. Any and all decrees, deals, official communication, and meetings are first reviewed by me and then forwarded to you, and from you down the hierarchy. My purview also includes overseeing your lordship's property, the palace, the estates, and the many gardens and other demesnes on Dargonis that you have inherited from Lady Theodora. And whenever you are present on Dargonis, consider me your personal secretary. What can you tell me about Dargonis? All deals and important decisions are made here in the capital. Many years ago, an ancestor of Lady Theodora signed an agreement with the Adeptus Administratum, which allowed for efficient management of the world and the neighboring systems. In accordance with the decree, a share of the planet's population was assigned to the Administratum and converted into servitor scribes. Now they toil across the entire world. Oh, this is going to be a very reading-heavy stream, I can tell. I don't think we're going to get into any fights at this rate. I'm going to be real with you guys. And my throat kind of hates me for it. Dargonis is also the seat of several noble families who run all the major planets in the Protectorate. If I may express my not-so-humble opinion, they care very little about who exactly stands at the helm. Those piranhas think about their own profits just as much as they do about the prosperity of the Protectorate itself, if not more. And lastly, Dargonis has its own fleet, a luxury unavailable to the vast majority of other worlds in your realm. In addition to warships, the Protectorate also employs privateer ships which are used to transport cargo between worlds. Does the capital stay in contact with the other worlds in the Protectorate? Unfortunately, not at this time, your lordship. After the few representatives of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica on Dargonis went into a frenzy, some of the psychers were tragically pacified by their respective authorities. Since then, communication with the neighboring systems has been unreliable at best. Thanks be to the Master of Mankind that you managed to find your way to the capital. Are there any other issues that I should be aware of? Apart from the disrupted communications, Dargonus was recently raided by enemies of humanity. However, the fleet, under the command of Captain Marthius Versarian, triumphed over the cursed Xenos. If you ask for my opinion on this matter, we have the situation completely under control. You catch her avoiding your gaze for just a moment. For the first time, it's obvious that Clementia is looking out for her house's good name. But despite the confidence in her tone, you can tell that she does not entirely believe her own words. Tell me about Governor Drivestem. Urban Drivestem is a well-respected man, and not just on Dargonis, but throughout the Protectorate. For many centuries, his house supported the capital's administration and the logistics between the Von Valancia systems. The Drivestem's efforts secured years of order and prosperity for Dargonis. What's more, Lady Theodora personally insisted that Lord Orband specifically be made the next governor. Interesting. The way you speak of Drivestem, I hear a hint of either contempt or resentment. No, no, I don't believe I feel either, your lordship. Clementia's steely eyes stare into the distance, her jaw clenching visibly. She speaks in a polite but clipped manner, clearly flustered by her insight. We have different views on how to run a world. We sometimes have discussions over the laws that are enacted, but we both work for the good of the Von Valancia's Protectorate. That much can be said without a doubt. Thank you for the report, Chancellor. I serve the Von Valancia's Protectorate, your lordship. Achilles Scalander, does he cause any problems? Why, none at all, your lordship. Secretary Scalander is an outstanding individual and a loyal servant of the Von Valancia's dynasty. In Lady Theodora's absence, we collaborated on a number of issues related to the well-being of your domain, and he has proven himself quite capable. And I don't know why, but even the governor trembles before Achilles, which is unusual for a man of his, shall we say, standing. The last word brings a slight smile to her lips. Oh my god, please tell me that Drivestem is really short. Please tell me Drivestem is really short. Tell them that I'm ready to see the governor. Clemencia bows before leaving. I shall arrange for him to be escorted to your study. Time passed 2 hours. That looks like, yeah, Cabela and Adelard are with me. That's interesting. Deis von Valancius, 20th in his line, rogue trader, keeper of the sacred warrant, and ruler of the Coronis Expanse, from the Cranach system to the 100 Dreams Crossroads. I bid you welcome. Urban de Drivestem, governor of this great world. First and foremost, please accept my deepest condolences. It will be difficult to recover from the loss of a woman as great as Theodora von Valancius. It pains me to think that she is no longer with us. The citizens of Dargonis and of the entire Protectorate grieve alongside you. Please allow us to declare half a year of mourning so that we can honor the memory of our beloved lady. The governor glances at Cabela anxiously, then immediately averts his gaze. Then he looks at her again, but when Cabela lets out a grim chuckle and stretches her lips daubed in fresh blood into a petrifying grin, the governor turns away from her sharply, all but squealing in fear. Like, I don't want to say, like, I kind of want to say, yes, half a year of mourning, that's fine. But that's such, like, a dismissive, it's all the same to me, do as you see fit, that I'm reading it, that's like, I don't really want to. I'm gonna try to make it positive. There's no need. I'm the new ruler of the Protectorate. Let my subjects rejoice at my arrival instead. The bewilderment causes the wrinkles on Drivestem's glossy face to soften. Your lordship, these are centuries-old traditions, sacred customs and rules. Do not forget who it is you serve, or Urban Drivestem. If it is the rogue trader's wish not to have a mourning ceremony, then so be it. Abelard's voice grates unpleasantly. Then so be it. Well, knowing that this is centuries-old traditions, I would like to go back and change that. Perhaps the parvenu installed by Lady Theodora cares not for the sacred traditions of our founding ancestors. The governor gives a meaningful nod in Abelard's direction. But Deus von Valancius is a descendant of the true children of Dargonis. It behooves the ruler of a world to honor its customs. I do honor traditions, Governor. Later, when things in the Protectorate settle down, we will declare a mourning period. As you will, your lordship. Drives and bows his head. Like, I like how immediately they jumped on me. Like, dude, these are ancient traditions. Yeah, I know they're ancient traditions, but like, okay, guys, settle down. I didn't know they were ancient traditions. No, now that I know that they are ancient traditions, I'm cool with them. I thought you were just trying to be polite. Esteemed Deus, Lady Theodora was a strong leader, and we ought to follow her example. Let us lean on our wisdom and preserve in spite of this tragedy. Together, let us carry on where she no longer can by leading the Von Valancius Protectorate to even greater prosperity. Ugh. There's gonna be so much reading this stream, and it hurts a little bit. Alas, it won't be an easy task to accomplish. Some time ago, the astropaths of Dargonis flew into a rage, and they had to be subdued. We are gradually restoring our ability to speak with neighboring worlds, but the contacts are still weak, and the routes are tangled and no longer lead to the systems that the captains expect them to. Given that the vast majority of ships in the Dargonis Navy travel without relying on the services of navigators, without your engagement, the well-being of the Von Valancius dynasty and billions of its subjects is presently at risk. Uh... Conrad Voigt's here. Former Master of Whispers is a heretic and a traitor. Has he shown his face on Dargonis? The governor pensively strokes the rings glittering on his fingers. Lord Vorgtier visited the capital some time ago, but he did not request a personal meeting. A heretic, you say? Now I see where all the whispering in the corridors has come from. Oy. I shall be frank with you, your lordship. Lady Theodora's sudden death was a blow to every one of us, and the absence of any sort of verifiable and complete information about her successor gives grounds for all manner of rumors and misinterpretation, especially if someone is deliberately inciting unrest and discontent. Naturally, none would dare challenge you by accusing you of something as sacrilegious as murdering a rogue traitor. However, Conrad Voigtier was once a true boon to the Protectorate back in the day, and as such, some heed his words. Yeesh. I want those dogmatic points so bad. I'm gonna go Iconoclast, because I just do genuinely agree with that. My subject's doubts are understandable. Too many things have changed in too short a span. I will prove myself worthy of my position. Why, Deus, your desire is most commendable. But please do not forget, a ruler should never bow to their attendants, where some might see it as a show of weakness. Tell me about yourself and House Drivestem. It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. My house is the oldest and most respected on Dargonis. My ancestors walked side by side with yours for many generations as they cared for this world's welfare. Our duty is to supervise the governing bodies within the system, subservient to you, and we are responsible for the protectorate's logistics and economic stability. No. As for me personally, I'm a humble servant of the Emperor and a loyal subject of the Rogue Trader, and to my great pleasure, I had the honor of calling myself Lady Theodora's close friend. As to Orban's last words, Abelard lets out a sound that could be interpreted as either a snort or a cough. Urban gives him a look, which Abelard meets with an expression of utter nonchalance. That's fucking funny. What exactly did what exactly do the Dragonius nobility expect from me in light of the loss of routes and communication with other worlds? We were all troubled by the fate of the Agri world Janus that supplied Dargonis and other planets with foodstuffs. Empty stomachs can drive even the mildest rabble to revolt. Furthermore, House Gablak is perturbed by the loss of communications with the industrial world Kiavagama, which is in their charge. But if you wish to know my opinion, the world that deserves your attention the most is the penal world of Vabo 6, one of the key mining suppliers for the Protectorate. Such intriguing concern for the Vabo 6 outpost. Does the house happen to own the extraction stations there? Drivesam's beady eyes widen in fear. Your lordship, I beg of you, do not interpret my words as an attempt to influence your decisions in any way. You see, without Vabo 6, the manufactorums on your world will need to make haste to find new suppliers elsewhere and arrange for new shipments, and in these troubling times, they run the risk of delays and other most tragic mishaps. My only concern is for the prosperity of the von Valancius dynasty. I've already visited the agri-world of Giannis. Governor Vyats found herself facing a number of problems in my absence. Truly, the Vyats line is one of the oldest in the von Valancius protectorate. If the inheritor of such well-respected blood could not handle whatever had befallen her, the situation must have been extraordinary indeed. He doesn't need to know the details. Eh, Vistenza Vyats is no longer in charge of the world. She's dead. I've delivered Giannis into more capable hands. Drivestone's eyes open wide. The Vyats line is broken? Such horrible news. Oh, it will shake many who are connected to the Vyats and who are used to the immunity that comes with our class. That does it for the planets and trade routes. What else? Xenos, your lordship. I don't rightly know where to begin. He rubs the bridge of his nose wearily. Otherworldly beasts are not an uncommon sight in the Coronis expanse. They've been a menace to the worlds this side of the Maw for decades. But now those abominations are on the rampage. They show no sign of fear as they attack ships, either damaging them to the point where they become unfit for transport duty, or outright gutting them. Only you have the power to stop this madness. We are in the process of restoring the astropathic choir of Dargonis. Luckily, we are forced to slay only some of the deranged psychers, although those that remain are yet unable to transmit messages. I hope Master Scalander will keep his word and offer you his support in the war against the Xenos. According to his reports, the region of Vevo 6 has been a particular concern in the last few cycles, which is all the more reason to discover the colony's fate as soon as possible. Alright. Now, to issues on a smaller scale. Alright, we'll see where that is in relation to us. There is a certain degree of tension in the capital due to the unorthodox succession to the sacred warrants. Chances of uprisings are minimal, of course, and the spreading of rumors is nothing but a sign of weakness of mind and spirit. Nonetheless, I have prepared a list of minor houses that have demonstrated unseemly discomposure at your succession. What is to be done about them? Command the spinners of the blood-spun web, and they will set a fine snare of retribution, Domindius. We will whisper names, and that whisper will drown out insolent voices. Um, you know what? I'm gonna rely on the blood-spun web for this one. I was leaning this, like, the most prominent malcontents, but don't believe the entire families. But actually, Cabela, I entrust this burden to the blood-spun web. Unravel the tangle of plots and foil them. It will be done, Domindeus. Let the sacraments of the hunt commence. A cold sweat breaks out on Drivestem's face. He forces a subservient smile on his face. This will bring the noble houses into line for years to come, your lordship. It will make them fear not only blasphemous words, but also their own shadows. And one last thing, your lordship. Your inauguration as bearer of the sacred warrant is but a matter of time, and I would like to inquire about one crucial detail. I imagine you are intending to uphold the centuries-old tradition, bolstered by an equally long-lasting friendship, of being represented on Dargonis by one of the noble houses. I presume that, as before, the duty will be accorded to House Drivestem. One moment. Which houses can represent me at the ceremony? Any of the noble houses located on Dargonis. The Drivestem family, which I lead, the Kaplak family, with long ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Sarbaks, known for their piety and diligence in service. Perhaps I should also mention the Versarians, who have some influence, but who are not actually of noble origin. Any one of these houses would be honored to represent you at the ceremony. Um, I'm torn between tradition and Abelard's family. Because Abelard is my ghost. I feel like giving this right to Versarians will earn a lot of animosity towards the Versarians from the other noble houses. Especially the drive stems. Um, these guys care. I'm gonna go with the drive stems. These guys care a lot about tradition. Athlord will probably be appreciative of it, but not a big deal. And I don't like Jocasta Sourback, so I don't really like her family, and I don't have an interact with House Kaplak at all. There's no need to alter any traditions. The dynasty will be represented by House Drivestem. I never doubted your lordship's decision. I can tell that the future holds a fruitful partnership for us, and prosperity for all Dargonis. I shall immediately relay all your orders, most gracious rogue trader. May the gold of the throne illuminate your path. I would like to complete my inauguration as rogue trader as soon as possible. When is the ceremony? I'm afraid that until you deal with pressing issues, the ceremony will have to be postponed. Many trade routes are still unavailable, the central worlds of the Von Valancius Protectorate are going through a crisis, and the warp disturbances, if void observers are to be believed, will prevent important guests from reaching the capital. Alright. This is probably like starting the parade back on Rykad Minoris. Once we get the key story stuff down, we can come back and start at any time. But if we do, that will put us into Chapter 3, and we lose out on loss if we didn't do in Chapter 2. That will be all, I take it? Thank you for your time, your lordship. Since duty calls, I shall take my leave. May the Emperor's grace be with you. Alright. Chancellor is saying that you're ready to receive... Blah, blah. Curiosity Merchant, Mencia... Oh, hey. Oh, no, that's me. I keep getting my face mixed up with Abelard's. Oh, I can just click like that. Hello, Clementia. Okay. Achilles. Okay, nothing new here. And Solomon. Okay. You wouldn't believe the kinds of poisons Glyto has detected in your various nobles' possessions. Fortunately, they have made no attempts on your life. So I limited myself to sending them a simple message. They may squabble as much as they like, but the moment they the moment it puts the protectorate at risk, they will feel the hand of justice bearing down on them. Alright, so I think we're good to go then. But don't close it. Some Mundus Valancius, I suppose. And we'll start getting work, start looking around over here to see what's up. Terrible news from Dagonis, Lord Captain. A subsidiary hive city, Skypion 84-249, has been destroyed in a series of cascading failures. Production has halted, and millions of people have broken their vows of obedience and are fleeing. Many of them are perishing in the wastelands and overloading the transport lines leading to neighboring hives. The surrounding residential sectors are becoming increasingly agitated by the influx of refugees. What is your directive regarding the distribution of these refugees? What is the cause of the catastrophe? It is still unclear. The noble houses are casting blame on one another. Agents of the esteemed Achilles Scalander stationed in the Skypion 84-249 died heroically while trying to save the population from this disaster. Their final reports mentioned some vulnerabilities in the industrial sectors of the lower hive, but did not go into further detail. All your servants are currently too busy dealing with the consequences of the crisis to investigate the causes. What say my advisors? The death of Achilles' agents trouble me. It may not be a coincidence. Till the cause of the disaster can be concretely established, I would avoid letting refugees into other hives. There may be saboteurs among them. I recommend setting up prohibitive cordons, where the refugees can be contained in the wasteland between the hives. The Emperor bids us to face the often cruel strokes of fate with dignity. If the other hives do not wish to accept the unfortunate victims of this tragedy, let the victims themselves teach those living in the hives a lesson in resilience and humility. Wait, let me reread that. The Emperor bids us to face the often cruel strokes of dignity. The other hives do not wish to accept the. Okay, yeah, okay, I understand that. I'm sure that the ecclesiarchy will aid the refugees in constructing camps to survive out in the wasteland and establish a community of proud desert-dwelling martyrs. Such harsh conditions will be a crucible of fortitude and fearlessness. This tragedy, a feat of spirit. The noble houses are trying to wash their hands of this. How predictable. And yet it is their duty to see to it that the planet meets its tithe obligation and brings glory and revenue to the treasury in your absence. Let the aristocrats see to the refugees, and not stop until every last one of them has been put to work. Um, I'm between Abelard and Argenta. Abelard, remind the noble houses of their duties. Lady Clemencia will ensure that your declarations find their way into every ear and are zealously embraced. The hives that have accepted the refugees are now overflowing with surplus labor. The refugees are willing to work twice as hard as the usual workers, who are already exhausted by their everyday toils. Many refugees have entered the rogue trader service and replenished their ship's crew. Oh, that's nice. Bargonis' nobles took no pleasure in distributing the refugees. Some of them have found their way into the personal service of the nobles, thankful to receive a Nutribar and a mat to rest on for 4 hours between shifts. Others could only attain the most grueling jobs of the manufactorums and service stations. They may be oppressed, but they have survived. A diaspora scattered across the hives of Dargonis. I was honestly leaning a bit more towards Argenta, but I think it's important to be. Look, I'm trying to be chill and everything, but you guys are still my employ. You guys are still in my service, nobles. So you guys gotta do your jobs. Carrot and stick method. Von Valanci's throne room, Von Valanci's palace. Ooh, projects. Just on top of the ruins of Scipio 84. The Omnisci's anger. Ex, ex, Extasiums for the nobility. Placency, efficiency. Palace Extasium will be constructed on top of the ruins of Scipione for the aristocracy. The dead and the dying will fertilize the gardens that will ring these pleasure chambers. Emporium will be rebuilt into a space elevator. It will be capped by an emporium, accepting those ships that are too heavy to land on the surface. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So people times 4. Block projects. I don't think we need more people. Place the efficiency. We still get 2 efficiency. We get 1 more profit factor. 5 ship components, 5 jewelry, adamantine mechanisms, and plastic. Honestly, I'm going with Emporium. I think that's the play. Yeah, okay. Cool, cool. And let's go to the Administratum. I mean, we do need J. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, J's already there. Swapping out Cabela. That's fine? Question mark? You know what? We'll level up J. Oh goodness, we have 3 overseers. They're not 3 overseers. 3 officers. Goodness gracious. Let's see. J. US mastered. Are you already built? Is the question. Command. Finest hour. Commanding voice is range. More fellowship. Nimble. Bonus to dodge. To the end of combat, it does not sound yourself with bonus command by voice command, but does not count as the officer's ability effect. But does count as the officer's ability effect for purposes of other talent effects. Oh, that's so good. More fellowship. Move, move, move. Yeah. 2 movement points. If that grants movement points to the target, the officer also gets half that number of movement points. So you're very mobile. You got commerce. Finest hour upgrade. During the extra you extra damage. Lore Imperium, Ballistic Skill, Leader's Assault, Ballistic Skill, Take Aim, Ballistic Skill, Heroism, Execution, Next Attack, Lore Imperium, Power. The kick may improve any trained characteristics of the actors in. Oh. Okay. So you are Ballistic Fellowship oriented. Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go Master Tactician. Technical advantage effect that allows them to empower their attacks. Gain +1 stack of this effect for every 5 momentum gained by themselves or their allies. Mass Tactician begins combat with a number of tactical advantage enemies for their fellowship bonus. Neat. Powers their next attack to deal +4% additional damage for every stack of tactical advantage Master Tactician has, and loses half of their stacks of tactical advantage rounded up. Fair enough. Damage and 5% additional damage for every 10 stacks of tactical advantage Master happens. Master Tactician loses half of their tactical advantage stacks rounded up. These effect stacks will last till the end of combat. Hook active for the beginning of the Master Tactician next turn, getting +25 momentum. The target ally or the Master Tactician gains +1 resolve for every 5 stacks of tactical advantage. Loses half the stacks. 2 stacks of tactical advantage. You're gonna do Inspire. Additional attacks enemies. That's just good to have out the gate. That starts us off strong. One wound to targets less than 50% hit advantage. After every hit they score on enemies, and there's a steep. That really makes me want to give Jai a shotgun. The AoE default AoE blasts of just lots of stuff. +1 more whenever the master takes these men lose 1 less. Just think going to the master and have the homecoming. Gonna go with against all odds. It starts off with more. Selects a 3x3 zone on the battlefield. All eyes, including the Master Tactician, that have line of sight to any enemies inside the selected zone, make an immediate single attack against a random enemy within this zone that they can target with their weapons. That's not bad. AP. Duke, Bella. Get you that fellowship. Let's get your toughness up a little bit. Yeah, joint offensive. Assign objective. That's supposed to be in the next minute. And again, gains with him. Stack fervor. Good job. Go. Can I give her the fucking multi-melter? Did I get the right upgrade? Can I just give her the multi-melter? Isn't that a thing? Hold on a second. Point bolt weapon expert. Bolt weapon attack. Oh, so she already has bolt weapons. Wait, bolt weapon expert. Oh no, she doesn't have that. She needs that first. Heavy weapon proficiency. I see. She a pain. Oh, you already have Drukari weapon proficiency. Interesting. Deals 20% more damage each damage over time affected target is suffering. But I might give you Hand Flamer, Grenadier, Efficiency. Man, this is Melta weapon proficiency, but apparently she's good with Drukari weapons. But I could also just grab the Melta weapon proficiency. Which I am really tempted to do, just give her a fucking the multi-melter that I just picked up. Sure, I'm not gonna use Jai that much anyways, let's be real. Let's get you some demolition. There we go, that works. Inventory. Jai. Melee attacks, melee attack and combat. Oh, because you already have. Ah, I see. Oopsie poopsie. I kind of want to take that back now. Those. Yeah, minor oopsie. I'll give you that, might as well. I want to go back and edit that now, because now I see that I have all these Draconic weapons. Exotic. What does it actually say? Oh yeah, I couldn't do that anyways, that's too heavy. Oops. Okay, hold on, let me actually load. Do I have an autosave there? I'm gonna load this, because I want to redo Jai real quickly. And just real quickly fix that. Yeah. So go here, got the squad. Yep. And we'll just real quickly re-level up Jai. And we'll probably wrap up there anyway, because that's what I was kind of thinking, considering the time. Okay. Jai. Master Side Fishing. Yep. Inspire. Yep. That's it. Against all odds. Yep, yep. Yep. We got. I think I did Fellowship last time. Got some toughness. It was Joint Offensive, I believe. Strong Point. Let me see real quickly, because it is the dual wielding. Yeah, that Poetry of Pain is tempting. Do I have the kind? Oh, that's not bad. Where did? She means melee weapon specialist. No. Proficiency. I'm not sure where the dual wielding one is. Oh, dual. No. No, is it combat master? No. Whatever. Poetry of Pain is fine. And then I gave you demolitions. There we go. Inventory. Go to you. We'll give you these boots because might as well. Oh wait, what coat do you already have? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. You're dodge tanking, Jai. 6 to 10. To 6 to 10 damage. Aldari Chainsword, Splinter Pistol, that puts poison on. Range 7. Range 6. That has a spray. We'll leave like that. You can take those, I suppose, and that, I guess. Yeah, that works. That works pretty well. Honestly, Jai's pretty set up. So Eldari chainsword. Yeah, Jai is actually like pretty well equipped, surprisingly.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Abaloy, Pascal, Yurla, Cassia, and myself. Alright, this works pretty well. Alright. Thank you everybody very much for coming around and hanging out. I'm gonna wrap up now. My throat is actually a little sore from all that reading and yapping. But I do hope everybody enjoyed the stream. If you missed anything and you want to catch up, I will be uploading it to YouTube later. If you're over on YouTube, feel free to come over and join the stream. I stream most weekdays. I will actually be gone next week, but we'll get into that later. We'll get into that in the later stream, honestly. Probably later this week. If you're on Kick, a follow would be greatly appreciated. If you're on YouTube, a like, comment, subscribe, all that engaging stuff helps out a ton, and I'd be really appreciative of that. But otherwise, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the days, and peace out, homies.